It has that nice little, that click right there. Did you hear that click? So over the last year or so, I have somehow turned into what I call a holster snob. Now, it wasn't on purpose, it wasn't my intention, but I have just been buying a lot of guns over the last several months, allegedly. And I may or may not have the most guns I've ever had in my life. Allegedly. No, just kidding. I live in a pro 2A state, so I can have as many guns as my heart's desire. But since I decided to embark upon this YouTube journey, I have had the fortunate pleasure to partner or collaborate or just feature a bunch of really dope brands that create very high quality, just phenomenal holsters. So much so that I have amassed enough to make a series about. I feel that these bring me so much value, and the whole purpose of the channel is to relay and convey that value to you, whether it be via demonstrations or education or training or just my take on something specific. These have brought me so much value, and I want to share the things that I actually use in my day-to-day life, whether it be something that I purchased with my own hard-earned money or something a brand sent me, you know, to give my opinion about. So the first holster that I'm going to feature in this Holster Snob series is from a lesser known brand called Hidden Hybrid Holsters. And I only say lesser known brand because I don't have anyone in my immediate circle that knew about this brand before I mentioned it to them. So this video is about Hidden Hybrid Holsters and this really amazing holster that they created for the P365X in this case. And where they lack in creativity, they do not lack in quality. There's no fancy name for this holster. I think it's literally called, you know, the Sig Sauer P365X in the waistband Optic cut. It's just a bunch of features called out in the title of the holster. Whereas other companies will have, like, you know, the secret XYZ combat ready, yada, yada, yada. There's no fancy name, but this is a fancy holster in and of itself. And I want to break down some of the coolest features. So the name would suggest that they make a hybrid style holster, which, drum roll please, is the case. This Kydex holster is made from a very thick, high quality Amish leather that sits behind this Kydex shell. So the advantage of this hybrid kind of combo is the comfortability along with the function. I don't know if you've ever had anything that's high quality leather, whether it be shoes or clothes, furniture, all that. It is a very comfortable material. And when you couple that with something that's not so comfortable, i.e. a big chunk of metal, it just makes sense to combine the two. So the reason I really like this one is because this leather kind of conforms to you over time. So just like with any other leather, the more that you wear, it eventually contours to that thing. So I wear Appendix. I obviously have the firearm in the holster, and it just sits nicely. Now, like I said, this is made for my empty Sig Sauer P365X, and the cool thing about it is that this is already cut for optics. Now, not all holsters have that functionality. I don't know why, because red dots are like all the rage right now, but it is a nice touch that this is already cut for that. And another cool feature to this is this little wing right here. So this, if you can imagine, would sit opposite of your actual skin and sit up against your pants or your belt or what have you. And for this to be kind of like hanging out there, it will press against your clothing and just push this deeper into your body. Not in an uncomfortable way, but more in like a concealability / functional way. It just allows you to conceal this a little bit better because it's pressed further up against you. Just the length of time that people, myself included, wear their EDC pistol on them. This can be hours and hours and hours at a time. And with those hard shell Kydex holsters that are all the way around, which have their use and their function, I'm not like digging into the Kydex holsters because most of my holsters are Kydex material, but this just allows for a more comfortable carry throughout the day for longer stretches of time. And I think that is just, it's really important. Another feature of this is the ability to adjust the cant and the ride height. So when I first got into the 2A space, there was just a whole bunch of terminology that I had no clue what it meant. So maybe you're watching this and you don't know what that means. So let me break it down for you. The cant is like the angle. So Imagine you have like little T-Rex arms and you have this holster right here. You can adjust the cant or the angle to where the grip, you know, is a little bit higher for you to reach your little T-Rex arms to grab your pistol. Or you can adjust it a little further if you have like regular size arms. It's just an added layer of customization to where you can make this sit and feel and be how you want it to be. And the ride height is pretty self-explanatory. You can adjust this little clip right here to go as low or as high as fits your fancy. So it just has a bunch of customization features to make this holster really work for you. So now that we've talked about the leather and all of that good stuff, the Kydex is just tried and true. Most companies have this Kydex material that they use, and for good reason. You have that solid audible confirmation of retention of your firearm. So if you don't know what I'm talking about, it has that nice little, that click right there. Did you hear that click? It lets you know that it is snug, that it is not going anywhere, that you can run and jump and do parkour or gymnastics, and this thing is not going anywhere. So I really do like the fact that there is a hard shell that provides that retention, so you know that the firearm isn't going anywhere. And I just really love the function and the form of this. Speaking of form, this was crafted with what is called a combat cut. So you can see that there's no like extra material. Every piece of material is either touching up against something that it needs to, or it is a barrier between your body and the firearm or the other components of the holster. And it just makes so that there's not a whole lot of waste. There's not a whole lot of extra material that doesn't need to be there, that would kind of take up space where it's not needed. So there's that, the combat cut. All in all, I just really enjoy this holster. This P365 is near and dear to my heart anyway. It's one of the first pistols that I carried on my person, that I stopped just throwing in my purse all willy-nilly, and really started taking, you know, being a part of the 2A community and having a dedicated EDC setup. This was one of the first guns that I did that with. And still to this day, I've gone through several other firearms, several other guns that I've carried on me, and this remains one of my favorite, just the form and function. But we're not gonna get into that because this video is not about this firearm. However, there's another bonus or component to when I carry this specific setup, and it is this right here. This is an equally high quality built magazine pouch. It has the same Amish leather backing. It has that same outer Kydex shell. But the cool thing about this is you can adjust how much effort it is going to take for you to remove this magazine out of this pouch. With these little screws right here, you can make the fit tighter or looser. It is all up to you, all up to how you like to have that magazine pouch on your hip. And the cool thing is it doesn't even have to just be these P365 mags. And while I typically only carry these two together, it's nice to have that functionality and the optionality to carry other magazines if I feel that I need to. So Hidden Hybrid Holsters, I think they have phenomenal products. I'm gonna have some links in the description below that will take you to these specific products, and just a general link to their website if you feel so inclined to check this out. But just like with any product review that I do, whether it's something that I purchased with my own money or something a brand sent out for me to review, I will always tell you the truth. I won't ever sugarcoat anything. If I really just don't like something, I have full rights and ability to speak my authentic truth. And, you know, I wouldn't recommend something that I didn't actually use or that didn't have a place in my EDC setup somewhere in my 2A lifestyle. So Hidden Hybrid Holsters, if you've never heard of them, I would highly recommend that you go check them out if you are looking for something like this. Now, obviously this takes up more space than a more minimalist kind of EDC holster mag pouch setup, and it's all up to preference. And I think that it's really important to try all the things. I know that, you know, there's varying opinions about that. Some people say that you can kind of just drown in a bunch of different products, but I think it's important because you don't know what you don't know. If you've never tried a hybrid holster, how would you know whether you like it or not? So yeah, if you have never heard of Hidden Hybrid Holsters, you are doing yourself a disservice by not at least checking them out, because they really do have some high quality products over there, and they just look amazing. Like, look at this. Look how sleek that is. Look how thick this leather is. It's just high quality through and through. And if I had to put my name behind it, I would. And that's what I'm doing because I really like them. And I use this whenever I decide to carry my baby. Till next time. Bye.